Howdy do, y'all. This is John, and today we are talking about Sunray Fallen Soldiers, a new movie out on VOD right now. And in Sunray Fallen Soldiers, it deals with this group of British commandos who assist an old member of their team on this mission to avenge his daughter, who tragically died because of, drugs. And, he's trying to find out who the heck gave her the drugs. And also, even worse, who laced the drugs. Okay, so to get things started, first and foremost, I'm going to talk about what I liked about the movie before I get into what I did not like. And first of all, when it comes to the whole subgenre of, an old warrior trying to get revenge and stuff, this guy has, the most justified motives I've seen since John Wick. And yes, I'm going to have to compare it to John Wick here real quick. In John Wick, the whole motive for Wick's, quest for vengeance has to do with the death of his dog, or should I say murder of his dog, who was the last thing that his wife gave to him before she tragically passed away. So there was very sentimental reasons for him to care about this dog. With this guy in Sunray, his own daughter was killed. And he knew better than to give her drugs. So, I would be wanting to go after the guy who gave my daughter drugs and killed her, essentially, myself. Now, I understand he did not directly cause the guy's daughter's death, however, he indirectly did. He shouldn't have given her that crap. So this man's quest to get revenge on him, it's very understandable. On top of that, the second half of this movie is actually pretty entertaining. I'm not going to lie, it gets pretty entertaining once the whole revenge element finally kicks in. The combat scenes are actually well choreographed. I wouldn't necessarily say they're great, however, they are well choreographed. They have, some decent cinematography. And also, the acting's not bad. Now, this movie actually does have, with its 4 leads, 4 commandos, trying to exact this revenge. They are real retired British commandos. And for any of my fellow Americans who don't know what a British commando is, the commandos are the closest thing the British military has to their own U.S. Navy SEALs. And yes, they're almost as tough as a Navy SEAL. I wouldn't want to get into a fight with them. Just like I wouldn't want to get into a fight with a Navy SEAL. And, military people have this bad reputation of when they get into acting, not doing a very good job. There are the exceptions like Arlie Ermy, and more recently Adam Driver. However, I would say they did a decent job in terms of acting. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Alright, now let me get into the issues I have with this film. This movie takes too long to get into the revenge side. I'm not kidding. It takes too long to get into the revenge element of the story. And I get, character development and all that kind of stuff. However, they wait until the 55-minute mark or something like that before getting into the revenge side of things. And the road up until that is long, slow, drawn out, and not particularly very interesting. Now, when the action and the revenge do start up, yes, it is entertaining and stuff. However, I wouldn't say it's entertaining enough. Now, yes, when the revenge element kicks in, it's pretty entertaining. However, I would not, argue that it's entertaining enough to undo the 55 minutes of, boring, badly written storytelling up until that point. The movie's also pretty predictable. You guess things before they happen, and all of a sudden, boom, they happen. And you're just sitting there going, well, I knew this would happen. And it's like, hey, dude, you probably should have taken care of that, because then this would happen. Oh, crap, that happens. Most of the CGI effects are bad. Thankfully, they went with a more practical approach, and most of what you see, in terms of the landscape, the buildings, human beings, they are real. But when there is CGI, you notice it real well. People shooting at each other in obvious CGI blood and CGI gun flashes. Yeah, even the gunfire CGI. I would blame Alec Baldwin, but I think it has to do with Britain's stupid gun restriction laws. So guys, at the end of the day, Sunray, its biggest problem's definitely being hampered by, a really boring setup, a really boring first half of the film. When the whole revenge thing, kicks in, yes, it gets entertaining, but it takes so long to get to that point, and unfortunately, it's not, entertaining enough to just undo the boring sludge that you sat through before getting to that point. Now, it's not a terrible film. I will admit that. The acting's also decent, and you also understand, this commando's motivations. However, like I said, the first 55 minutes, you're not that invested in what's going on. The CGI effects, while they're not, plentiful, you notice them, and the film's predictable. I'm going to give Sunray Fallen Soldiers a 4. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please look forward to more videos real soon. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, please remember, the Badetsky.